Hello, my name is Leilynn Singh, and tonight I was lucky enough to attend the final open mic night of the school year hosted by Creative Writing Club. The atmosphere was amazing. Creative Writing Club had decorations hung up, everything was sparkling, it was actually so fun. And it created this nice and inviting atmosphere for everybody to share. Everybody was super encouraging for new people to share pieces, for old people to share pieces. Everybody was super welcoming. It just felt like such a hate-free and open environment. Everybody there was proud of the writing that they were going to share, was excited to hear other people's pieces. It was so fun. One thing that I did not know, and this just might be as somebody who it's her first time attending an event like this, is snaps. I've heard all those stereotypes about snapping in poetry classes or poetry performances, but what I didn't realize is people snap during poems to show appreciations for certain lines that really stick out. At first I had no idea that this was etiquette, and I was so scared. I was oh my gosh, all these people are snapping while this person is performing. But it turns out it's a good thing. And so slowly, as the night went on, I started to snap for people. Everybody who shared had an amazing story to tell. One thing that was super awesome is that there were poems that were really sad, there were skits, there were comedic sketches, nothing was left out. It was such a wide variety of pieces that were long, pieces that were short. Somebody even played the guitar and sang a song. Everything felt so beautiful, and there was just such a genuine appreciation for the art that was being shared and exposed, and people were being vulnerable, and people were accepting that and supporting them. It was such just a beautiful thing to see all these people willing to help others, to listen to somebody else's story and just enjoy it. I was lucky enough to talk to some of the writers, and they gave me permission to share their lovely pieces with you. The first one comes from junior Isabella Adriatico. She just won a bunch of awards at LitFest, and she's just an amazing writer. She wrote a love poem for us, and it made us laugh, and it was just such a smiley and giddy piece. A lot of people think that poetry has to be somber, it has to rhyme, it has to follow all these rules, but truly poetry is just this beautiful little excerpt sharing emotions in a challenging different way, and the way that she did it was just perfect.
The first boy I ever loved knew how to play 4 chords on his busted ass guitar. He was blonde, which Mama warned me of, told me was a sign from God, but I was a starved bird eyeing this bright blue bug-eyed white boy. This white boy stuck his tongue in my mouth and I bit down. This white boy got me on Wiki how to kiss with pictures. He asks if he can call me baby and settles for lover, and God knows I'll love anything if it hurts. So he gave me a boy with a kiss that tasted like fire and blood. This white boy asks if I'm in love with him like I'm in love with the sun, and I can only laugh because this lanky looking guitar playing artsy little white boy is my real love.
This next piece is performed by sophomore Aiden Kessler. He submitted it to LitFest and received second place in his category. It is called The Presentation, and it is set in a dystopian scene.
Okay, the presentation. In the center of the stadium, a large column rose from the ground at the top. On the top stood the man himself, Kelter. He raised his hands in the air, gesturing to everyone in the stadium. He wore a huge smile, a scam. The column stopped moving upwards, and Kelter rose his chin, ready to start the presentation. Ivan turned his back to the window. It was time to begin. "Greetings, everyone," called Kelter. "How is everyone today?" His voice echoed around the stadium, bouncing off the concrete walls. Then, the hellish screams of terror rose from within the stadium. Ivan turned, taking in the spectacle below the sky view box. Below them, the thousands of impoverished, poor people were running frantically through the stands, screaming, all lit on fire. The mass of terror-stricken poor grew as more and more began to ignite in the stands. Scarlet fire engulfed the outer stadium. The flaming horde began scrambling out of the stands, racing towards the race column and crashing into each other, forming a large pile of burning corpses at the base of Kelter's pillar. Oddly enough, Kelter didn't seem concerned or scared. He merely stared down at the charred mass below him. Even the rich that accompanied Ivan in the Skyview box seemed not to care. At least that filth is getting cleaned up. It was the woman from before. She was facing away from Ivan and gesturing towards the flaming mob in the statement. Maybe their germs will be burned away. I agree, darling, the husband responded. A proper cleaning, I would say, but the smell is quite terrible. Behind Ivan, a woman screamed, rushed to the corner, and vomited. And although the sight was horrific, Ivan couldn't be sad or disturbed. The plan was off, and there was nothing he could do to change that. So he stood in the Skyview box in shock, watching the dance of crimson flames consume the masses below.
After a few pieces, the event paused for a brief intermission. During this intermission, you could go and buy concessions, or you could buy little books that they had, which were all $1 to support the club, and it gave a chance for those who were too scared to sign up before to sign up and share a piece. Because the environment was so inviting and everybody was so welcoming, I had the chance to share my own piece of poetry, and it was just an amazing experience. Like going up there, you just feel the absolute support that you have from everyone in that room. Everybody is listening to you. They want to hear you. They want to hear what you have to say, your story. And it's just this feeling that like nothing can beat. Having that support from everyone was just phenomenal and really made it easy to feel like I belonged and like I was meant to share. Seeing the support that leaders of Creative Writing Club had for those who they knew, had for those who they didn't know, was so heartwarming. To see people share their writing for the first time, even if they're a little bit nervous, was just so magical. There are so many stories in this world to tell, so many point of views that haven't been shared, and nights like this are a chance for people to learn those point of views. So I just think that this night was actually awesome and is an amazing opportunity for young writers and people who want to hear stories. I would encourage anybody to go to these again because they are so fun. Overall, everything about the night was successful. From the decorations to the people who shared to the people who ran it, everything went really smoothly. I think that as somebody who has never been to one of these before, I will definitely be back, and I will definitely be encouraging people to go because this was just such a magical experience to hear the way that others can warp their words to tell stories that I would have never even thought of. To share their point of views in the world was just so beautiful. Shout out to everyone who performed tonight and to anybody who will be willing to try and go next year. Thank you to Creative Writing Club for hosting such a successful open mic night.